Welcome, deep divers. Today, we're diving into the DJI Neo drone. This is one that really caught our source reviewer by surprise. They admitted they didn't expect much initially.
Right, but then they were genuinely impressed, weren't they? So it's interesting when that happened.
Exactly. So our mission today is pretty clear. Figure out how this tiny drone, just 135 grams, manages to, punch so far above its weight.
And why people are calling it a sort of sweet spot
Yeah.
for creators, vloggers,
Yeah.
people who want something simple but capable.
Yeah, we want you to get a real sense, quickly, of what makes this little thing tick. So let's get into it.
Sounds good.
Okay, let's unpack this, starting with maybe the most obvious thing. It's just incredibly small and light, 135 grams. That's like a smartphone weight.
Pretty much, yeah. It means it can literally just slip into a jacket pocket. It's that level of convenience.
Which is kind of amazing. But what does that compactness actually do for someone using it, beyond just being easy to carry?
Well, I think it's the clever engineering around it. Take the propeller guards, they're fully enclosed.
Right.
So that makes it remarkably safe, not just for flying indoors, but you could, say, grab it quickly while you're biking through a park without worrying about snagging anything.
Ah, interesting. So it's not just small, it's usable in more situations because of that design.
Exactly. It opens up different kinds of shots. More spontaneous ones, maybe?
And the source really highlighted the takeoff, too. Like, press a button and it just lifts off your palm.
Yeah, that's a big part of the ease of use.
Yeah.
No fiddly controller to start with, no complex pairing sequences right off the bat.
Which must be huge for someone who just wants to grab a quick shot without hassle. That spontaneity factor again.
Totally. It cuts down that friction. From having an idea to actually capturing it. It makes aerial shots feel much more casual, more accessible.
Okay, so it's super portable, easy to launch, fits in your pocket. But the real test is in the air, right? How does something that small actually handle?
Surprisingly well, actually, despite being so tiny. You get pretty crisp agility in the normal flight mode.
Mm-hmm.
Then in sport mode, it really zips along quite briskly.
Yeah.
But scene mode is interesting.
How so?
It intentionally slows everything down. All the movements become really smooth, very deliberate. It gives you that sort of floaty cinematic finesse.
So you can kind of choose your style, playful or more dramatic.
Precisely.
Right.
And what's cool is you don't need that separate controller to get creative right away.
Right. And this is where it gets really interesting, I thought. There's a button on the drone itself for these smart QuickShot modes.
Yeah, that's a key feature. Things like the rocket launch where it flies straight up.
The orbit, the droney, that classic selfie pullback shot.
Exactly. And spotlight, too. The point is, you can get these really dynamic, professional-looking movements in just seconds, literally with a button press.
What does that mean strategically, making those complex shots so simple?
Well, it sort of democratizes it, doesn't it? You don't need to be a skilled pilot anymore to get footage that looks really polished and dynamic. It bakes that skill right into the drone.
And there's AI subject tracking, too, for hands-free stuff.
Yes, and it's reportedly quite reliable. It keeps you centered whether you're walking, cycling, whatever. The source mentioned it even kept pace with gently bobbing joggers without getting jittery.
Oh, okay. So you end up with steady shots that look pretty polished, even from just walking down a path.
Right. It's about getting good results without the steep learning curve. Looks professional, not amateur.
Okay, so easy to fly, clever modes, but the million-dollar question, especially for a small drone, image quality, what are we actually getting here? It does 4K 30 fps and 12 MP stills.
Yep, full 4K at 30 frames per second and 12 megapixel photos, which for something this size is, well, it's not too shabby at all.
Not bad. How's the stabilization? Because tiny drones can be shaky.
That's crucial. It's a mix. There's a mechanical one-axis gimbal that mainly handles the up and down tilt.
Okay, just the one axis.
Just one. But then it's combined with DJI's digital stabilization, the rock-steady and horizon balancing tech. That smooths out the rest of the wobbles electronically and keeps the horizon level.
And does it work? Does it smooth out bumps from wind or fast moves?
Apparently, yes. It does a good job of cleaning up that inevitable shake, making the footage look, as the reviewer put it, more like a seasoned travel clip than something from a shaky toy.
That's a good description. But let's be real, a one-axis gimbal isn't the same as the three-axis ones on bigger, pricier drones, is it?
No, absolutely not. A three-axis gimbal gives you much more comprehensive stabilization controlling roll and pan as well as tilt. The Neo's one-axis setup is simpler.
So what's the practical difference someone might notice?
You might see some limitations in really challenging conditions, maybe. But honestly, for its size and cost, the source felt it did an admirable job. It really brings up the question for you, the listener. How pro does your footage really need to be for everyday sharing or memories?
That's a fair point. Maybe good enough is actually really good for most people's needs.
Exactly. And the Neo seems to hit that good enough mark very effectively for casual use.
Okay, it sounds almost too good to be true for a pocket drone. There have got to be downsides. What's the main compromise?
Yeah, there's always something. The main one here is battery life.
Yeah.
Realistically, you're looking at maybe 17, 18 minutes flight time in ideal conditions.
Oof. Okay. That's not a lot.
It's not. And that can dip a bit lower with the prop guards on, or if you're flying hard in sport mode, for example.
So what does that mean in practice? Enough for a quick flight or two?
Pretty much. Enough for a quick outing, grabbing a few specific creative shots. But yeah, it's definitely not going to last you through a whole day of filming without swapping batteries.
So pack spares if you're going to be out for a while.
Definitely. The source recommended that. Think of it like a point-and-shoot camera for aerial video, great for specific moments, not for long-form recording.
Gotcha. Any other catches? The source mentioned no obstacle avoidance.
Correct. No sensors for avoiding obstacles. So you absolutely need to be mindful of where you're flying. Keep your eyes on it.
Especially indoors or around trees, I guess.
For sure. You need to stay vigilant. It puts more responsibility on the pilot.
How much of a deal breaker is that, given who it's aimed at?
For the casual user just grabbing quick shots in relatively open spaces, probably manageable. They're likely watching it closely anyway. But yeah, more experienced pilots used to obstacle avoidance might find it limiting.
And the battery life, again, under 20 minutes might underwhelm serious users.
Right. And if you're looking for super smooth, slow motion capabilities or really complex cinematic flight paths you control manually, this isn't really built for that specific high-end realm. It's important to set expectations correctly.
Okay, that makes sense. Know what you're buying.
So summing it up, DJI has essentially built, like the source said, a palm-sized storyteller. It really blends that ease of use with genuine creative potential.
Yeah, in a package that's so light you forget it's there until you want that cool shot. It feels dependable and smart, not just like a cheap toy.
Definitely not a toy. Feels like a strategic product, making that cinematic look much more accessible. You know, it kind of redefines what casual content creation can be.
Turns anyone into a potential aerial director without needing weeks of practice.
Pretty much. For the price, the convenience.
Yeah.
It really hits a kind of sweet spot. Especially maybe it's a second, more portable drone, or definitely as a first drone for someone starting out.
So wrapping up, if you're after efficiency, real portability, and that easy cinematic flair without a ton of fuss, the DJI Neo looks like it could be that perfect little sidekick you didn't know you needed.
It really could be.
Makes you think, doesn't it? What stands out most to you about this tiny powerhouse? Where could you see yourself using something like this?